Happy Friday, happy weekend, and happy upcoming Father's Day to all you dads out there. This is the House Florida Sports Channel. This is Frank. This is your Tennessee baseball transfer tracker, for lack of a better term, as we're looking at been tracking, potential incoming guys. Of course, Tennessee got the commitment this week from Brady Frederick, former ETSU pitcher, Southern Conference Pitcher of the Year. They've added Clay Edmonson, UNC Asheville grad transfer, significant draft risk. Edmonson Estrada from MIT. He is a draft risk, but at the same time, I think he's the most likely of these guys. Matt Barr is a JUCO guy. He's not necessarily a transfer, or he's not necessarily a portal addition. He is a JUCO transfer, significant draft risk. And then you've got Bo Rudy, comes from Kennesaw State as well to go with these. So that's 4 portal guys. Barr is the JUCO. We'll see who makes it in on it. We know that Fredrickson and Rudy have eligibility. They'll be here. In turn, when I've talked about these additions, potential additions along the way, one thing we've known is there's going to be departures. And Ben McKee, 24/7 Sports, Eric Kane, VolQuest.com, both put out this morning, Tennessee has had 4 guys enter the portal with this house settlement. And somebody asked me to do a video on the house settlement. Once I kind of wrap my head around all this on baseball, it's a great idea. I will do something on that. What we know right now is baseball will have a roster size of 34 players. All right, it's going to be really interesting right now to see how they manage this, because there's obviously more than 34 players on the roster. And, there's the grandfather rule that's in. I still don't understand what they're going to do with this. And what that means, that's not in regard to fifth-year players. And I've said that the whole time. I think people mistake that. That is in regards to roster limits. So is it guys that are currently already on the roster will be grandfathered in until time to go, and then or is it going to be a case they're grandfathered in for the fall, and then you have to make those cuts down to 34 once you're in the fall? Those 34 roster positions will be full scholarship, which has not always been the case with college baseball. So that's good for these players. Talking about departures, though, talk about who's coming in. Now your departures. Tennessee already had 3, which I've talked about previously on it. But so now you're looking at, and I want to because I know Jack Jones was one. Gosh, I can't remember the others off the top of my head right now. Let's see. All right, here we go. All right, I got it pulled up, and I had it in front of me and lost it. So I mentioned the ones coming in. We've talked about the visits. Now you've got Bryson Thacker, who's entered the portal for Tennessee, was already in. Robinson Martin, Jack Jones. Those were the first 3. Now today, and I'll talk more about these guys, Colby Backus, Thomas Crabtree, Austin Hundley, Braden Sharp. All 3 of these guys have entered. And looking at their numbers this past season, Backus was a guy who, this year he just really didn't get much opportunity on it. He had 188. Said he played 21 games. He had 16 at-bats, 3 hits on the season. Now, he was kind of an interesting dude a year ago because he got quite a bit of swings midweek. And, he made the most of his midweek stuff. The problem was when he got to SEC play in the weekends, it didn't work out, because last year in 2024, he hit 387. He had 5 home runs, 12 RBIs. He slugged 968, had an OB on-base percentage of 500. That's an OPS of 1468. That's pretty impressive. The thing that stood out to me for him again was, when he got his opportunity in conference play, he didn't take advantage of it. And this year, he just really, with 16 at-bats, it was minimal playing time. He's the guy to me, wish all these guys the best of luck. He's a guy to me, he played at Daniel Boone High School, went to Walter State, had big numbers, come to Tennessee. So he has a year eligibility left. Maybe I'm selling him short here, but I wonder if maybe a reunion back home at ETSU might not be ideal for him. That's a program on the rise. Went to their first NCAA tournament since 2013 this year. And again, maybe he goes somewhere bigger. But I'm just looking out off the top of my head. That right now is a good program. they've got that program going in the right direction at ETSU. Could be an ideal fit there for him. Thomas Crabtree, JUCO transfer, come in this past year. He had pretty good numbers on the year. But there must have been something where he was mainly a midweek guy this year. And we didn't see him really any at the end of the year. Had a 3.0 ERA, 2-0, 12 appearances. He started 2 of the midweek games, 15 innings, 20 strikeouts on the year. But as we got toward the end of the season with those midweek games, especially like the last month, they really condensed it down to where you would see Michael Sharman, Austin Breedlove, maybe Braden Krenzel, Dylan Loy, some of these guys more so. And it really, a lot of your pitchers earlier in the year, we were seeing 9, 10, 11 pitchers in a game midweek. They condensed it down to where we were seeing 3 to 4 pretty much max. And a lot of these dudes we were seeing first of the year were left out. It showed me they were working toward postseason number 1. And, you know, again, you could kind of look at it. It's not that these guys aren't talented or they're not good. It just, you know, it is what it is. I mean, I don't know what else to say on that. But you've got these guys you didn't see the last month or so. I mean, there will be some probably remain. But, again, they had exit meetings this week. And especially with having to trim the roster down, there's tough decisions has to be made. And you've got to get your guys in. Of course, they're still trying to add to the roster as well. This is going to be a drastically different looking roster next year. I think not only in terms of players, but in terms of the way they play as well. Based on the hitters they're targeting, this is not your home run or strikeout guys. 2024 had the guys who could hit home runs and could get the big hits. I felt like this past season, for the most part, it was either all or nothing with it. A lot of times we didn't have the guys who could really just come through with that base hit when we needed it. Like I said yesterday, the home runs are sexy. It ain't freaking sexy to strike out, though, especially with runners on base. What I like, and I know it was a low-pressure situation, but I look back at that Arkansas game on Sunday, the last couple hits we got. Chris Newstrom turns on 99 and hits a gapper left center. That is perfect hitting. That is BP hitting at its finest right there. A guy comes off the bench, hasn't hit in weeks, turns on 99 and laces one in the gap. That was perfect. That is what you need to be able to do when you get these runners on. Not this warning track power stuff or anything like that, or a double play that maybe we get a run in, but we ruin all the momentum. A guy turning on 99, that's talent. That's hitting. A Jay Abernathy who battles, and finally he takes a mistake and puts it off the scoreboard. That's the kind of guys I like to see right there. And I know that's a home run, but Jay Abernathy's not a home run or strikeout guy. He's a guy who can hit the gaps as well. I think that's what you're going to see with this team this coming year and their approach. And I think we'll see I think we're going to see more just guys that can hit the gaps, guys who can run, guys who can play. I think you're just going to see a drastically different team. And I think it's going to be a lot more fun to watch in all aspects, defensively, offensively, based on what they're targeting in the portal tells me, yeah, we know we had a flawed team this year. You look back on it, and maybe there was aggravation. The fact that team still got to the supers, that's still a pretty dang good coaching job this year, regardless of how they might have looked at times. But like I said, Tennessee's 7 in the portal right now, and we've got, the few guys coming in. Again, out of the 4 portal guys who are coming in, 2 of them, definitely, I just don't see Edmonson making it in. I hope he does, but he's a guy, grad transfer. His stock, I don't know that it'll be higher, and he still has that leverage with the draft as well. I mean, Estrada's a guy with 6.0, 2.21, 40 and 2/3 innings and 10 appearances. He did start, said he struck out 66 batters in 40 and 2/3, only walked 23. No home runs, was given up, 154 opponents average. That's pretty strong numbers as well. This team, again, there's going to be more. There's going to be more portal guys. There's going to be more coming in. There's going to be more departures. And I would say there'll be quite a bit of departures just because you have to get it down. You've got your incoming signing class. You're going to lose guys to the draft out of that. There's no doubt about it. So it's going to be interesting to see how they juggle this roster next year. And I'm curious with that number of 34. Is it 34 active and we can have kind of the inactive guys, or is that 34 just going to be period? They're either on it or they're not next year. But I'll keep you updated on that, and something I want to kind of get to later as we start some of the summer ball, and we'll try to accumulate where everybody's playing summer ball and try to get some updates on that throughout the season as well. You guys have a great rest of your day. This is Frank, House of Orange. Last but not least, I'll see you when I see you.